Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Livers Show. Bitcoin caking a dump. 115,000 could be possible. Here we go. Bam. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. We got a beautiful day ahead of us. May God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for sharing your time. Seriously, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude for every single moment, every single thing I got in my life, for my kids, all you people, the losses, the wins, the ups, the downs, every single thing. I have gratitude for it all. God bless each and every one of you. Let's get that music back up and running to get the show on the road. God bless you all. Let's move on. Let's move on. Shout out to everybody here. I wanted Bitcoin to pump last night. I was long. I got slammed. It didn't go in my favor. Dang you, Bitcoin. Dang you. And we didn't get the pump. Let's talk about it. I see kind of a head and shoulder. I got bearish this morning for BTC. All coins could follow. It doesn't make sure it shows, every setup will struggle. You need Bitcoin to stay healthy and stay at least flat for these altcoins to continue to pump. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down in Bitcoin land. First thing I want to show you is BOOKMAP. It's been screaming 115,000 for days. We get closer and closer to it every day. What I have noticed about BOOKMAP is we've hit the levels, but it's taken about 10 or 8 days to hit the level every time. This level looks exactly the same, and it just says, hey, 115 is coming. Whether you like it or not, it's going to liquidate everybody that went long late on these altcoins that didn't take profits, and then reset the market, which is likely what's going to happen unless today something changes. And we're going to show you what that means today. But right now, the 1 minute has to get back above the 200 moving average here out of this little bull flag, get a breakout. This kind of double bottom here off 117. And 117 has been strong. We've tested it numerous times. BOOKMAP is not 100%. It doesn't say you're 100% going 115. It's about 85. Which is very high. 8 out of 10 times you will go to the red level that BOOKMAP shows you. Let's hope that this isn't one of them. You know what I mean? We don't know. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I don't know what's going to happen to Bitcoin. I never come here every day and look you in the face and say, hey, this is what's going to happen. Some days I am so sure of it. I say, bang, we're about to pump to the upside, right? And I could just see the probabilities are high. Those are the days where I go harder because it's obvious to me what's likely going to happen. There's other days where I'm in chop and it's like I can't figure it out. I see things two different ways and I say, you know what, I'm going to leave it alone. And there's other days where I can see it's clearly to the downside unless we see something different. And today's one of those days where it's like it's not really an if. It's clearly bearish. Like this morning, I woke up bearish. Said that's a bear flag. We dumped from 118 down to 117.2. Like I basically said we were about to dump, right? If you watched my morning update, I didn't like the way Bitcoin was looking. I saw the 3 minute inside of a bear flag here, right? And lo and behold, this is the bear flag I saw for Bitcoin. And it broke to the downside, right? We got the nasty dump. So let me show you here. Bitcoin 3 minute bear flag down to 117,100 from the $118,100 level. And it's exactly what happened, right? We even bearishly retested it before we dropped to the downside. Can we get back above the 200 moving average? Can we get some bullish divvy now? Now we have a little bit of bullish divergence. This swings down. That swings up on the RSI. Do we have it? Yeah, a little bit there too on my indicator. This indicator, if you go up here to RSI, it's stochastics RSI with divergences. This one is the one that shows you the divergences as well, which is pretty cool. And sometimes it finds ones that the RSI doesn't totally pick up on, but you can see like that loop and that loop go up. But so what it does, it's pretty cool. It takes price action. So like price action made this and made that. And it takes that as the downward spiral. And then it can see this hill and can see that that's like an upward trend. And it says, oh, I found a divergence there. And look, it's spot on. A little bit of an Adam and Eve double bottom there too as well for BTC. So interesting times. And yesterday was hot. We tapped 120,000. It was looking pretty good. We made a bit of a bull flag on the one, kind of an ascending triangle here. Things were looking pretty interesting. I was looking for this to break out last night as we were above the 200 moving average of the 3 minute. Things were just starting to kind of go our way. But no, the $120,000 support or resistance level would hold, and we would not get back out of resistance only to find some type of support, right? And that's kind of what Bitcoin's doing now. It's attempting to find support. Where does it want to bounce from? And that's all we're trying to find out. Is it 115? Is it 110? Is it 117? You know what I mean? It's fighting 117 pretty nicely. Let's take a look at our top-down analysis. Let's not get overly anxious, and let's make sure we're getting all the information before we decide to get, take any type of risk. And shout out to everybody here on the live. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. Nothing I say and do, all right, should be copied still, just this is for education, entertainment purposes only, all right? Do your own due diligence before getting into any project, coin, or trade, please. Okay, so look, let's take a look here at what's happening on the weekly. So the first thing we have to say is you can see there's a nice support at 100,008. You want to see kind of where your base may be if there's treachery, okay? Second thing, you might want to pull a fib from here to here just to kind of see where you're at. And you can see a level that could come back down $108,000, $107,000, right? So just right off the bat. And then thirdly, you want to see where your last main resistance was, and that's 109K. So that information can kind of just, and you give your subconscious that information. You feed it. And so when you're first trader, you just look at that and you're like, all right. Second thing, you start to project what you've seen in your life. I've seen shoulders. I've seen a head. I've seen a right shoulder, right? What if that was the case? Where would we go to? We would go somewhere to $81,000. Is that possible? It's very possible. Okay. We made a rally. The Fibonacci retracement is 56K. You see, if that ends up being the top. So, we could be in for something that nobody ever even thought of, right? What if we dumped to 56,000? Has anyone even thought about it? Has anyone brought it up? And I'm not saying these things are guaranteed. I'm just saying if you're not open to any of this, then if it decides to begin to happen, you won't be able to short it down. You won't be able to say, okay, you know what? This is that big short Sam was talking about. Let me reverse it. I know I'm down on this and that, but let me take some profit. Let me do this and that, So it's just been, and this has been the rally of rallies of up and pullback, up and pullback. And it definitely defeats the mind. It has chewed a lot of people out of this market slowly but surely. It's done its thing to mentally beat down the trader over and over again. You've had to be mentally tough. Like some of the most mentally tough times of my life have been in the last 2 years, including the death of my mom and dad, but excluding like my life. If we just get away from that, that's insanity that I went through that and did what I had to do. But regardless, if we could somehow extrapolate that, all we're going to look at is, even just trading wise, it has been intense. Like the Casper trade alone, how long is that? Almost everywhere we look, it's been a long road. Like I've got $100 grand in Solana for like 2 years now. Like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? I've been up $100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand. It's been up, it's been down. It has been a battle for my soul, it feels like. And I extrapolate it and I tell myself, this is just material things. I'm meant for energy and for experiences. Whatever is meant to come to me will come to me. God has a plan and all this, and I keep myself, but it's hard, man. As humans, we get pulled into these emotions and we start talking down to ourselves. We start feeling low, right? I do. And I have to break myself out and say, Sam, don't you do that. Don't you talk down to yourself. Don't you put yourself down. You've got this. You can, you will, you are the best. And I have to break it out and say, you got this. My dad used to call me and make me feel pretty good. I love you, Sam. My mom. I don't get that anymore, right? And, they say your parents are always with you, but, man, that phone call was awesome. And I can't hear their voice no more, no matter how hard I try in real life. So, it is what it is. I'm good today. And we're not going to get deep. Whole point is, trading's been tough. Period. For everybody out there. Bitcoin's been amazing. You've been in Bitcoin, it's been awesome. But if you've been in altcoins and you've been trying to make that payday, it's been tough. Let's take a look at the weekly. The weekly opened at 117,265 at 11 cents. The high was 120,247 in 80 cents. The low was 116,128. We already dipped. Is the weekly low in? It looks like it may be. And the candle closed at 117, or the candle is at 117,933. So, we're just, we're okay. But I'd like us to close back above where we were, please. That would solidify it, get us a bullish engulfing candle. That would be the key. We are a little far from the 21-day moving average. Usually that starts to create a pullback. Something could be happening here, or we could pull price action to us through an uptrending channel, which is very bullish. This is still always, all this is possible. Another thing is you have to remember, Bitcoin is in price discovery. When you're trading a coin and you see it goes to price discovery and it's a small coin, it's been out for a few months, a year, you go to the 5 minute, right? And you watch it go crazy and eventually as it's blow off top, This is what Bitcoin's doing on a mass scale. It's doing the 5-minute blow off top of a tiny little candle, but this is going to take a few months. It's in price discovery right now, erratic price discovery too. People are taking profits, people are getting in, people are in fear because they said, I should have bought on the low and it kept going up. If I don't buy now, it's going to keep going up. So they keep buying and it does what? It keeps going up. Interesting, right? So, but then there's other people like, well, I don't know where it's going. I think it's overheated. I better sell. And then they're like, but maybe I shouldn't. I'll get back in. And there's just, right now we're in this indecisive period of price discovery. It's a very difficult time to trade price discovery. As fun as it is, it's actually very difficult. I like range-bound areas. Like here, coming back to a fib and coming back up, this is beautiful. You know exactly where your resistances are. You know where your support is. You can find your channels. You get above the 200 moving average, things start to move. Here you get the retrace and you get support and resistance as well. Up here, you don't have these bearings anymore. You're out. You're out there. And you can always just come right back down to wherever you lifted from. Like you could just, you know what I'm saying? So that's like your support is so far when you get into price discovery. And so, that weekly candle was insane right there. Look at that thing, that $9,882 candle. Unbelievable. Anyway, shocking times, right? To be alive. But this is we're living through history right now together as we speak every single day. Shout out to the super chats. I've been at the bottom and the top. They both were hard, no doubt. Yes, sir, let's go. 100%. The top is hard, the bottom's hard. I'll give you that. It's always hard. It never gets easy. We wake up every single day, and we got to do what we do for ourselves, for our family, and for our lives, right? What's up with C? How long? 27 cents to 47 cents. C? I don't know what C is, but I'll take a look. Yo, brother, speak the truth. The Trader Files. Shout out to James Jones. You don't know what he talks about, the behind the scenes of trading. Everyone wants to show the gains and the wins and the up, and how great it is. But there's pain, man. There's pain in trading. And every single trader has gone through pain. I don't care who they are. Every single trader has gone through pain. 5-day chart looking just, indecisive. Could come back to the 21-day moving average. I'm open to it. 3-day chart, I'm looking for the bounce here and at least a green close. So this is we have some faith. We have something to kind of, some hopium copium is how I talk about it over here. We have something to gravitate on. And that's if we get this bounce off the lower channel for Bitcoin. Okay? 3-day chart. So far, so good on the 3-day. That entry down there is still in the money on the 3-day chart. The daily looked good until it didn't, right? But let's see if we can stay inside the range. So look at it. Look at here. This would be cool. Let's make some. Let's consolidate into an ascending triangle. Let's get the bounce today. Or actually, this candle would have to close red. So we'd have to kind of hover all day in these areas, close red. And then tonight at 8 p.m., we'd have to start to go up. The problem with this is, the con is, that is definitely resistance. So we raise that to daily resistance right there, which is 119.9, 118, 190. Is it 8? Let me see. No, 120K. Where this candle eventually would close, the high was 120, it closed 119.950. So, but that's a double top. You can hold control, right? But that's a double top, all right? That's no good. A double top on the daily. This candle closes red. That's a double top on the daily, is it not? I don't make this stuff up. I just show people what they got. What some people don't want to see it. Some days are super bearish. I show the head and shoulder. They throw tomatoes at me. We dump. Some days it's the other way around. They're all bearish, and I say, hey, but it looks like a reversal. Some days I'm wrong completely. I'm not trying to be right or wrong. I'm just trying to make sure I'm ready for the next move and then position myself for it. That's all. So, now we pull a fib here. If that is a double top, you'd have to start thinking that the Fibonacci is possible. And that wick, too, I'm not a fan of this huge pump up out of nowhere. And then that's not cool. You don't like to see that. That's basically kind of blow off top vibe, in my humble opinion. So we could be coming back down to $112,000, $110,000 Bitcoin. If you see Bitcoin close a daily candle below 190, 160, we're so close. We just wicked back up to the upside, back into the 118s. But look at this. 117,000. You see us close anywhere in here. That's the danger zone. A candle closes down there, you're closing below the last support, and that just tells me you could go to the 618. So I'm not a huge fan of what I'm seeing today. I'd like a red close because that says we can bounce off the bottom of the range. But let's, So what if it flipped green and we just continue to pump? I mean, yesterday we were in the flag that broke out. Everything was awesome. Now it's coming down for the retest of the bear. I don't understand. It's like Bitcoin is just treachery. But as I said before, it's in price discovery, a very unique position to be in for a very large asset. So there's going to be emotional stress. There's going to be ups and downs. This is not going to be easy. And you have to understand, it's the story. It's the people behind the story. All the people that didn't get into Bitcoin are frustrated right now. They were told they could buy 90K, 80K. It's going to go back below it. It's going to go to 67, they were told. It dipped to 84,000. I snatched it. It went to 74. I snatched some more. I kept buying the lows. It never hit the 50s like the people want. Now they're sitting there wondering, so it gets them to buy the dip early because they wish that they missed out so much. Can Bitcoin consolidate here and it still pump out of here to the upside is the question. This is the story. This is what we're all watching here. 12-hour Bitcoin, 8-hour Bitcoin, right? Bounce, 4-hour Bitcoin. And you can see we're kind of curving. There could be a bounce here. Let's flip to the 1 hour. And the 1 hour really gives you your daily day. What's going to happen that day. And so here I would position this like so and say, this is a trend line right now. We've got to get the bounce back to the top of the trend line. Bitcoin's got to recover here and start to kind of hang. Make this a higher low. It's a big deal. Right now is a huge, we take out that low. It's you're going to make a lower high, and then I don't see how you can't cannonball down to this high volume node. There you got 113. There you have 111, and there you got 108. So this bounce is so needed right now for Bitcoin, and it's sketchy too. We could get rejected now by the 200 moving average on this 1 minute. We have to get back above this complex inverted head and shoulder. Right now, this is very crucial times for Bitcoin. I don't mean to kind of scare you here, but this is a pretty serious moment right now for the week, because if you don't get above this 1 minute 200, we start to get rejected here. That's a fault. That's going to be a rollover. We get above this, we can consolidate on that daily, and there's hope the daily makes a way. So this 1 minute is about to teach us what's going to happen in the next week. Really, isn't this crazy? This next half an hour is going to depend. Is going to show us what's going to happen really in the next 8 to 10 to 12 hours. This is a crucial time right now for Bitcoin and your altcoins. Any position you're in, if you're over leverage heavy, if you're sitting there close to liquidation, you're sweating your pants off, because I know a lot of people are. They don't do the right thing, and the emotions pull us in. It is what it is. We're human beings. We make mistakes. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up for every bad action you had. Tell yourself that you can correct it next time. Well, look, that's a head and shoulder pattern. We're not getting back above that 200 moving average. I'll tell you what, that's not the best sign. I guess we have a little more room to play games in here, but it would be nice not to. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what. Same thing here with the 3 minute. You got to get back above that 200 moving average. So here we are, with a very critical moment for Bitcoin on the week, and really could kind of spell the month. And then really, there's a lot riding on this one move here for BTC. It's insane. Let's take a look at Solana. Let's take a look at Ethereum and how they're going against this dump here for Bitcoin. Nice pump back to the upside. Bullish engulfing so far, so good on the 1 hour time frame, and we are oversold in the stochastics RSI. RSI also looks like it could get a bit of a bounce. And the MACD is turning. I mean, we've been getting sold off for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 hours of just complete selling. So you'd think we'd get some relief from the selling for a second. All right. And if you want to trade what we trade, you like the reversal, you see something you like, hit the weeks, Bit2Next or the BTC links right there. I greatly appreciate that. And here we go. I haven't traded the NASDAQ since we got back to 42.91. We have the count from 2,000 to 42.91. We're very slow with this account. I'm teaching you. This is where I teach people how to be a beginner. This is a beginner account. It was 2,000. It's at 42.91. We trade it when it's right. If it's not right, we just don't trade it. We wait for the perfect time. I think I've made about 18 trades. I've won 14. So we've lost 4 trades so far. We've won 14. It's been a battle. It's been about 3.5 weeks. We've doubled the account, and we wait again. Same thing here. You can see it's mimicking Bitcoin. It's got to get back above the 200 moving average. So you can see Bitcoin and the NASDAQ have been in lockstep recently, basically doing the exact same thing over and over again. I would love for this not to make a right shoulder and dump. I'd like for it to consolidate and pump and get above the 200 moving average. Very crucial time. We're going to know basically in the next hour what this area is going to reveal for us. And that's why I love the 1 minute. It gives you a fast result. You can find out what you need to know quicker using the smaller time frames and understanding how they interact with the bigger ones. It's very important, okay? What's up with C? Somebody says, I don't know what C is, but I guess I'll just type C in. C, USDT. He said, what's up with C? Chainbase. Interesting. So Chainbase, remember we talked about Chainbase, and I went over it and said I liked it. It's on the radar. Wow, the last few days it has just been out of control too. Remember, we talked about it when we found it here on Crypto Rank, and I kept saying Chainbase, 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 right? Interesting. 13 cents, rallied up to 52 cents, came back to 23. I mean, to me, it has almost a bit of a cup and handle here, does it not? Just, you know, it's high risk because it's a smaller coin, definitely. But based off TA alone, I don't mind what I'm seeing here for Chainbase C, USDT. Yeah, and we found this coin early, like, what, you know, and we never really found out what it did. I just knew it was something worth looking at. Chainbase. Let's take a look at what Chainbase is, what it is, what it wants. You know, what are they talking about over here? So it's building a hyper data network for AI, a foundational layer for the DataFi era. We transform fragmented on-chain signals into structured, verifiable AI-ready data, enabling permissionless coordination between agents, apps, and humans. With over 500 billion plus data calls, a vibrant community of 20,000 plus developers and 8,000 plus project integrations, Chainbase powers a decentralized data economy where data becomes capital, composable, monetizable, and open to all. We went over composability the last few days, but it's like an orchestra is composed by multiple instruments together, and the composer puts it together. We want to be able to compose, right? All these things can be used in conjunction with each other in fast motion. You know, the programmable data, that's composability, that's composable. We're backed by prominent funds, including Matrix Partners, Hash Global, Foilus Ventures, Mask Network, Bonfire, XVC, and more. Chainbase. And man, going after Coinbase idea, Chainbase, pretty interesting too, right? I have a long limit order at 115.5. No idea if we get filled, but it hurts nothing to place it. Hey, I mean, there's a lot of liquidity down there. So there's a chance you might just get it. You might just get your wish, right? So there we go. So Chainbase. And then I just look at the website too. You know, I want to get a feel of what they're doing, how they built the site, how much they care about the site. You can always see kind of how much do they care about the site and see what's going on. Seems like I'm not getting it loading either there right off the bat. So structured layer connecting all blockchains, agents, and apps. Start building. Data is one of the most. Interesting. I mean, they're selling me pretty good. I don't know enough about it to understand what they're doing. I'd have to read white papers and take a moment, but hey, it's got a good story. It's worth it. There might be enough people to speculate on this thing, and there's a chance it goes to 57 again out this flag. And smaller coins also really can bounce compared to whatever Bitcoin's doing, not really care. Thank you for the lifers and everything you do, Sam. Shout out to Marcus, man. God bless you. Thank you. And the super chat for $20. Wow, that you didn't have to give, but you did. That will come back to you tenfold. It's like the altcoin rallies are short-lived. They are. Yeah, they're not like they used to be. They're kind of like, and because they've been so short-lived, we don't trust them anymore. So people sell them. So if you keep short-living something, it's harder for people to stay in, right? And so it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. Only the OGs like me can just continue to hold. It's like it's getting tight, So the new people don't have that conviction. That conviction is built numerous times over multiple cycles. And so the people that can hang are the people that just know how to do it, right? And it's not easy. So yeah, I'm looking for this to pump. It looks pretty interesting to me. Chain base. And we went over this multiple times. I was going over what to research, and to research it, I think, a week ago at this point, before it maybe even hit MEXC, so Chainbase C USDT, all right, on MEXC, and maybe wherever else you can find it, all right. But yeah, that looks interesting. Thank you so much for the super chat. God bless you, brother. You put something on the radar and got us back into the groove there, so appreciate that. Thank you. I longed at 27 to 47. Well, you did a great job. God bless you. And that's the lifer way. Yeah, brother, you speak the truth. God bless you. Thank you for that. Yep, exactly. And that's, there we go. Okay. All right. Let's get back into BTC and see what's going on with Bitcoin, right? So we're getting a bit of a bounce. Nice. We're starting to flag out. Seems like we defied a possible right shoulder so far. We don't know for sure, but at least we can possibly dig our way out of here. So at least we're not dumping anymore, right? The dump got stopped. We plugged the dump. Could be the daily bottom right there. Beautiful double bottom at 117,340. And now it's time. It would be pretty good time to go after the shots. So let's see if this little flag can break out above the 200 moving average. We get above the 200, I'll begin to trade, because it is a beautiful day to trade, right? So it's Wednesday. Let's take a look at the Forex Factory and see what's happening. I believe we only have one thing, which was unemployment claims tomorrow at 8:30 right there. Yeah. Everything else kind of clean. Wednesday, I don't have anything out here. So a lot of talk with Jerome Powell. Is he going to resign? Is anything happening? Are these just rumors people are making to kind of, basically you keep hearing that you're going to resign, eventually you do. Like everyone's telling me I'm going to resign, so you do. It's almost like, people put it in that way, they just want to basically talk you out of your job. I mean, people do that. It's like called media bullying. You know what I'm saying? Use the media so bad that you believe your own fate. So you create the destiny they put on you. And I mean, it's something that's happening somewhat to Jerome, right? Right now, you can see it. A lot of bad press for him and his what seems to be his crew. You know what I mean? Like you could say if you had to place him in one, he always says he's bipartisan, but he's, So anyway, there's a lot going on there. There's a resignation letter flowing, over on Twitter, which was probably not true. You know what I'm saying? And it was unverified, that he had actually resigned and all that. So do you think he will resign? I'd like to actually ask the room here. Do you think Jerome Powell, Jerome P, right, will be replaced or resign? Resign, replaced, stays. Let me know in the poll. Do you think Jerome Powell will be replaced or resign? Resign, replaced, or stay? Just want to see what you guys are thinking. I want to see what's going on in the minds of men and women out there, the lifers. You guys have beautiful insight, pretty smart people. Just want to see what you guys are honing in on, your intuition here on the poll here. Jump on into the poll. Interact with the chat. We greatly appreciate it. All right. It's just a distraction. People are saying, yeah, I don't know. Yes and no. Who knows? Everything could be a distraction from itself. All right. But maybe you're correct too. I'm open-minded at all points. So unemployment claims, 8:30 tomorrow. There will be some volatility to be had by all there. So that will be a good time. 118. Bitcoin back up and grinding. It could have gotten worse, but we got a little bit of a bounce here for Bitcoin. Beautiful. Beautiful. And this little flag looks shoulder, head, right shoulder, which could moon back to 118,662 for Bitcoin. And we got some liquidity building back above us there at 119,350. Just enough to possibly get us back up to the zone there through a $1,000 move. So Bitcoin bouncing around, and we will see what happens. So let's see what the poll started to do. We got 51% said he stays, 31% said he resigns, and 18% say he will be replaced. 175 votes. Let's get those votes up to the watchers. Let's go. Let's go. Most people forget it was actually, exactly. He will finish his term and get replaced in May of 2026. Yep. We have Google earnings. If they are positive, we should see the market pump. Earnings for Google coming on in too, which will kind of send the market, hopefully, to the upside. I would agree with that notion, for sure. Okay, so altcoins are still hot right now. I think the point is when these dips happen is to pay attention and to not, that's everyone kind of ran away when the best prices were around. Now we pump, but everyone wants to come back. But the point is not to leave. The point is to stay disciplined during the time when it's tough. When everyone else is dipping, you stay disciplined. Look at FARTCOIN up 27%. And let's talk about that cup and handle for FARTCOIN that we got cooking here, as these altcoins are still doing their thing and holding key gains against Bitcoin, right? So it's been pretty awesome. But here we put this out on the daily time frame at about 119. We ripped to 170. Shout out to anyone that took that trade or is still in that trade. You could move the stop loss to break even at this point. Risk-free trade. See if you can get all the way to 251 is my target for FARTCOIN. So, that thing is just doing what it's supposed to do. It was one of the strongest coins in the bearish time. It came back stronger than everything else. So it told you when the market was strong, what would be strong? Likely. And so it stayed strong. DJI 6930 got that pullback to the 200 moving average, which is a very likely sign. That happens many times. Back to $50 million market cap. But this thing exploded so fast, so quickly. And there was a whale kind of took some gains, but it doesn't really, it ate the gains pretty well. It ate the dump pretty well, actually, already. And so, yeah, you'd pull a Fibonacci. You'd look for it to kind of hit the 618, 786, which I feel like it kind of did. And I'd look for it to consolidate a little bit and be on its way back to the upside in the next, probably week. Sometimes it takes about 5 or 6 days for that consolidation to pull out. I do hold this coin, so hey, maybe it dumps to zero and turns to nothing. You never know. These are highly high risk, I just put 27.4 to buy the dip. Anything from 115 to 18 is still cheap. Hey. What usually immediately happens in price action when there is the sudden large spike up or down of the VWAP? It's funny somebody said that. I just have a couple tokens I wanted to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is a strong token on DeFi called ZORA that just came out. It's a native token, an ERC20 token on the base chain. Launched in April 2025. Total supply of 10 billion, with a circulating supply building throughout distributions and trading. Key distribution metrics is a 10% retroactive airdrop, 1 billion tokens to early creators, collectors, and users based on the protocol activity, with the remainder allocated for ecosystem incentives and liquidity future rewards. So since 2020, ZORA has raised approximately 60 million across 4 funding rounds. The seed round in October 2020 raised 2 million from investors like Kindred Ventures and Coinbase Ventures. So the largest round was a $500 million Series A in May of 2022 by Juan Ventures and $600 million valuation with participation from Paradigm and others. So, right. It's funny, another coin that's on the radar that people don't talk about is Cake. Cake still earns a reward. Cake still has an amazing pool. The Pancake Swap website is still an awesome place. Cake's been one of the strongest DeFi machines I've ever seen. So Cake is definitely something you might also want to look at. Let's take a look at ZORA on the radar here and see where it is. You can actually, it's also on Coinbase, which makes sense since they invested in it, right? It's also here on MEXC. Wow, ZORA just went to the moon. It was a penny. Look at that thing. In the last 6 days, it absolutely banged out of nowhere. That's crazy. That is crazy. See, this is what can happen out of nowhere. Like, You can hold the coin that just looks like absolute, and once it gets above the 200 moving average, this thing is just gone. ZORA to the upside. And I can't, hold on. I believe when we did like a deep dive on coins, I was looking at ZORA. Yeah, so look, like we got right here my man Badri, who's unstoppable, really, one of the best. And he's like Zoro from Token Metrics, and he's looking at here at a penny, and he's calling it to go to up. So like we were on top of it in the trading group, and you can see clearly that it got a huge move to the upside, ZORA. So Bitcoin struggling right there, but wow. And you can see we knew about it. We were talking about it, going over it. It was a coin that we had mentioned, and I also have bots that show when things get added to the exchange. So like been listed on Biconomy, been listed on the Sendex, been listed on Coinbase. On 424, I knew when it hit Coinbase, ZORA. And that's about a 4 or 3x. And so there's a lot of opportunity in this market right now. And people are acting like there isn't because they're in their heads, or over leveraged trading. And I like to research right now and go hard when the time is right. That is the key. You know what I'm saying? And to leverage my money for me, let it work for me, is really the goal here. So low MACD there, starting to get the bounce. Could we get back up to 5-7 is the key? High risk for sure. This thing could, you're playing with fire at the beginning, but man, also pretty fast returns. Watch that. ZORA could make a pump today back to 5 cents, 0.7%. This thing is hot. So ZORA. Thank you for putting that on the radar. This show is already going swimmingly well because you people are participating, and that's the key. Looks like we're headed to 123 on the 5-minute, where all the bots are still on those 3 longs. You never know. Anything could happen, but the bot is still long, yes. My bot is still long. It's been longing this whole lower range. And if we can hold a higher low, we could definitely come back to the top of the range here somewhere between 120 and 123,000 for sure. Like you can just see we've been range bound for a while. We could hug a higher low, kind of a cup and handle there. I'm seeing some signs of bullishness if we can hold 117.5. But right now we're struggling on this little flag, see? And the more we go sideways, the more likely these are right shoulders, the more likely this is rolling over. Kind of looks like an Adam and Eve right now. I got to be honest. What is an Adam and Eve? It's just when you kind of have like a triangle and, but that looks head and shouldery to me, and we did not get back above the 200 moving average. That has to happen sooner than later for the bulls to take any control over the day. So right now, it's looking more bearish than bullish unless we can make a change here. Unless something can happen sooner than later. Come on, Bitcoin. Show us the fire, baby. Love it. Proof again. Long holds turn bigger profits. Yeah, exactly. It just takes time. Everyone wants that fast, quick money. It takes time. I'm in and out in the smaller time frames only when I see the model. Right now, I don't see the model. I can't trade. Like, I'm not going to force trades. We were live trading yesterday. It was fun. I'm not going to live trade today if I don't see what I see. You see what I'm saying? I can't force it. As much as I'd love to, I cannot force it. So, big dot dominance may go to retest 62%. It's possible. Bitty Bitcoin. Thanks for the call on trash. Let's take a look at trash. That thing was out of control. Obviously was not trash. You know what I'm saying? And someone showed it to us on the stream yesterday. We stayed due diligent. We showed up. It was 5 million market cap. Thing went all the way up to, it boomed. I thought it might make a right shoulder, but you never know, right? I'm not a bot. But we did consolidate, and we saw where it could go, and it boomed. I mean, this thing went all the way to 14. Unbelievable. We started at a $4 to $5 million market cap. It's at 12 million now. Trash from massive gains in the trading group. So shout out to anyone that jumped on into trash, took trash, learned. Even if you just learned how we do it, look, no indicators needed to make 126% gains on trash. So bang, bang, bang. Yeah. Someone said Aura in sauce. Aura does look hot to me too. It's come up a few times now. The Aura network. Oh, I had that rising wedge though. It didn't do the do. Lack of volume though. The candles are a little sticky. And why? It's got a wick back inside now. I don't know. I wouldn't trade it right now. Just not a fan of that specific move. Someone said saucer swap. Same kind of rising wedge there and took the dip. You know, had the cup and handle more sideways. Cool thing about sauce is it is above the daily 200 moving average. So you just want to see, like, can you hold that? Could be the greatest buy on that wick right there, right? That's something I would watch. You know, sauce has been fun to trade on off and on, and it can get volume because it's a swap, right? So now I got an alert on sauce. If we go consolidate, then sauce may be a winner here. The key is to be ahead of your trades days in advance before you make the trade, to have the setups ready to rock, because you can't just be your brain's not set up to make the entry when you see it. You got to have to be comfortable with it beforehand to get rid of the emotions. You remove emotions by having, all right. Opinion on Floki showing some strength. Very interesting. Yeah. We'll take a look. So let's see. Now we're tighter inside this channel. Can we break back above to 118 here and save the day? Follow me at CryptoLifer33. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the love and everyone that does follow me. Key insights from me and Andy at Weeks right there. We got structured ideas, the Lifer Trading course. Jump on in. We teach class this Saturday, the last Saturday of every month. I teach class. Jump on in today. You'll absolutely love it. It'll blow your mind. Hit the QR code to find out more about class. It'll be awesome. So I teach a 3-hour course. I give you a half an hour about kind of the beginnings of my life. It's pretty awesome. It's this Saturday. I can't wait to see you there in class. So may God bless everybody. Thank you so much for jumping on in, and anybody who signed up to class. It's going to be a blast. So, and in the summer, no days off, pushing, waking up early, suited and ready to go. That class starts at 9 a.m. We usually do a live stream before, too, at like 8 to 8:30. So it's a busy day for me on Saturday already this weekend. I will be working hard this weekend. No weekends off for me. Everyone's like, but it's not the point to get rich, bro, to take... No, it's the grind. I can have time off today, tomorrow. I don't have the weekends. I have every day of my life to be. See, everyone else lives this, I get off on Friday, but like every day is a work day. Every day is a day to grind. I don't take the weekends off. Every day is a day to make it happen. I'm an entrepreneur. Amen. God bless everybody out there with the entrepreneurial mindset that doesn't divide their days into the, Keynesian, or, the bourgeoisie, man. They wanted you to work. Indentured slavery. People made just enough to live at the place they had. I mean, it was crazy what they did to people. And, that's why we eventually got some respect over time, the worker. But, man, it's still all politics. And we want to see saucer swap. That's why we have an alert there. Pretty interesting to me. Let's take a look at Caspa. It's on my radar. One of my long-term holdings. I like Caspa. So what happened? Well, what happened to Caspa happened to a lot of coins. We hit it. It was nice gains there. If you go back, actually. Wanted to see it flag out. Look, it kind of made a very strange sideways price action here. And it follows Bitcoin pretty closely too, Caspa. But Caspa, like all coins, got above the 200 moving average and blasted to the upside. Now you got to see it come right back down to the daily 21-day moving average in some way, shape, or form. So you want to see where that level is. Start to plan out for those key levels, right? That's what you got to do. Caspa. And then it can boom all the way up here to about 0.1509, right? But it's got to come back to that 21-day moving average. There's a chance it starts to bounce here and it makes an uptrending flag. But the odds are more likely it makes a downtrending flag. And then you can even pull what I call the local mini fib there, and you can see that level would coincide with about 10 cents. So that's a key level I would be honing in on for the next bounce. Never chasing green candles for Caspa. And then you also got yourself a bit of a Sammy cup and handy to the upside here that could absolutely do some serious damage, right? Sammy cup and handy to the upside. All the way to the upside, baby. So can we get the pump? And that would take it to 15 cent. 15 cent Caspa, baby. And we're a little overbought, too, though, in the daily. So you can see, let's get that reset. Let's get a nice, healthy move to the 618. Probably takes about a week or two, and then we could be on our way. So a little bit of a pullback for the altcoins if this kind of looks like what we're seeing for BTC. Bitcoin's still kind of sitting here, getting tight. Decision time is coming for Bitcoin. We break above the 200. We have ourselves a possible move here to the upside. Look at your 30-second. 30-second says you could take the trade stop loss below the 200 moving average. There's about an 80% chance that will break out. So 30-second may be our go-to right now until we get back above. And then you can see what happened was an uptrending, slanted, inverted head and shoulder, really. And there's the cup and handle that we always look for. There's that money printer right there on the 30-second chart, right there. Bling. And you can pull it from the candle. 618 Fibonacci, right? Bang. Anyway, so all is well that ends well. So far, so good. 118K for Bitcoin. Beautiful place to be, right? I mean, we're at one of the highest places Bitcoin's ever been. Made massive gains in BTC. Everything kind of going our way, so it is what it is. Let's take a look now further. I want to take a look at what's happening to Bitcoin dominance, right? And I'm like, that's not the same exact... It could be, right? Actually, yeah, we did a lot of craziness there. Well, that didn't play out. That fell down. No bounce there. Okay. Put this back in the range. Let's go. BTC doing damage on that 30-second, showing like it may be able to get above that 1 minute 200 moving average. Here it is. Boom. As we said it, it happened. That was crazy. I said, here it is, and it did it. Like, that's crazy, right? Too voodoo. As for me, though, I almost it was like too, So now you start to be like, okay, things are going the way we want them to go. Interesting. Hold on 1 second. I gotta scan sometime. Hold on 1 second. Blessings to everybody out here. Appreciate you. And thank you for the show. The show is going great. We're gonna get back into that poll, see what's happening, and see what y'all think about JASMY. And wow, look at that monster move for Bitcoin. 118,200, getting the bounce back into the good graces. And woof, it looked like, wow. And who did, you were scared. No, you were scared. Who capitulated? Who here capitulated? Some of you probably sold it all or got liquidated. Too many people can't stay in the fire. It's not easy, man. They'll put you to the test here every single day. You know how many times I've been tested? My goodness, you wouldn't believe. But we fight to live another day. The key is not to give it all back. The key is to keep pushing. The key is to never stop. The people that don't stop are the people that win. The people that keep giving up are the people that never win. So either you're a winner or a loser. And that's defined by your will to push. If you keep pushing, you're a winner. If you don't, you're a loser. Like it's really up to you. All right. So look, shoulder, head, right shoulder for Bitcoin. Inverted head and shoulder right there. Beautifully played out. I mean, it did exactly what it was supposed to on the 3-minute chart. 1 minute now has to stay above the 200 moving average. And we'd like it to come back and, hang out with the 21. So the next time I trade this, I like to trade it Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday during the day. This session right now is one of my favorite sessions to trade. Wednesday from 10 to 12 o'clock. I mean, you guys, that's why I'm here every single day. Every Wednesday, I don't miss this session. So this is the liquidity run. This is when we could look for the exact same trade on the NASDAQ. If you're a nasty NASDAQ trader, you're looking for the same thing here. You're looking for the 200 moving average to get up. And then you're just, you slap on, hit your indicator here. And then you're going to want to go to MA. And you're going to want to slap on the 21. Okay? It's all you need to get paid, in my humble opinion, are these two moving averages. How they interact and work together is the key. Just hit that to 21. I like to make it white if you're kind of working with us. And so, yeah, we're going to wait for this to crack the 1 minute, the white to get on the other side. And I know that's a likely good trade there. Like, that would be beautiful. Something like this. I'm a little ahead of my, something like that. This would be gorgeous. And then I can already start to set up the trade in my mind before it even happens, right? And you're like, but how? But I've seen it so many times. Now, this may never happen. I could be in my mind completely. This may never happen. But if it does, I'm already poised in position. So my take profit would be 23,375. My stop would be somewhere below 23,205. Now, none of this may happen. We could get rejected by the 200 and take a dump. That's fine. I project longs and play them if they come in. I don't tend to go short as much as I long. So that's kind of my, I know my trading style. Because of that, I hit a lot of awesome longs. Because if I was going back and forth, I might sometimes hit longs, might sometimes hit shorts. But I stay long majority of the time, specifically when it's more likely to be long. Like now in chop, once we have a high come put in and we're starting to go up and down, I'll trade long and short all day long. But once I see a clear defined uptrend, it's hard for me to break my probability mind. My mind says, well, the probability is now long. So I tend not to short a lot when the math is against me. Makes sense, right? I mean, yeah. So now we want to see the 1 minute stay above the 200 moving average. Let the 21 come into play and get some type of pattern here. Ascending triangle, heck, bullish rectangle, bullish pennant. Whatever they give me, I'll take it. And then we can get here to 118,624. Now, slowly, you can see the daily candle could recover. And we may have even made the daily low. And there's still a chance that this is a beautiful flag that breaks to the upside. I've already showed that before. It's a little messy now because we're not going to get rid of this, what we're doing here in the small time frame. Dang, that was just a nasty vol. Like, now we lose this 200. It kind of takes the wind out my sail, and it could be a very rough day with more pain, and we're definitely probably coming back down to the low 117s. So now only time will tell. Let's move forward to the DXY. I like to take a look at the DXY. A lot of coins are looking like Caspa. Let's take a look at Doge. I wanted to see Doge make a pump. I was looking for a little bit of a pump last night, and for Doge to take that move. Doge is away from the daily 21-day moving average. Same thing. It looks like Doge may have to take a nice same little pullback that we're talking about there for Caspa. Could it get a bounce in the interim somewhere back up to 27, 26? It may. There's a chance. Let's look at that on the 4-hour time frame. So Doge just took a beat down, but got brought all the way back up. Went to the low of 23.98, if you can believe it. So what a slam for Doge. I saw an inverted head and shoulder last night that looked pretty interesting to me. It looked like Doge might get a bit of a pump, but Bitcoin could hold that key level. I saw this right here. These break up 68% of the time, but we got no love. We couldn't get above the 200 moving average on the 15, and we rolled over. See, and then I don't like to long above, below the 200. We like to long above the 200, touching the 21, in the flag. And so that wasn't the sauce, right? So, drinking the Doge Kool-Aid last night, and it didn't play out. We got above that 200. We were going to get a nice little short squeeze, and I was looking for it. I was up pretty nicely at one point from entry. We got a pump, so you can't hate on that. Doge, but now you can see the rollover. Like, it's a clear rollover. So let me take a look at it on the 1-hour time frame. I mean, nice bounce off the 200 moving average on the 1 hour. Could be our saving grace. But you got to get a V-shaped recovery now. Like, you got to. So all eyes on Bitcoin. Bitcoin comes back. Doge could possibly make this inverted head and shoulder. Maybe somehow save the day over time, right? Turn it into this, like, tight channel. So, hey, the 200 moving average is saving the day right now for Doge, and there's a chance it does. Let's take a look at Total 3, the entire market cap of all of the cryptocurrencies, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, and see what's kind of shaking and baking. And same thing, exactly what happened to Doge. We bounced off the 200 moving average. Little flag broke to the upside. We hit a high of $1.08 trillion. So let's take a look at the weekly, our weekly projection, and see where we're at. Going to remove the moving averages for a second and just take a look at price action in all its entirety. So the altcoins, we needed the pump. We were looking for the pump. We got the trend line. We got the move, right? We did pump. It all worked out in our favor. We got above the previous resistance. Bit of a slanted, a cup and handle. See that? Cup and handle fired off. Like, we got a beautiful pump. I mean, what else could we ask for? We went from 700. We got, 200, almost $300 billion injected into this market. It's like, oh, we're all so greedy all the time. It just goes into the, it goes into Solana. It goes into certain coins. Then it gets pushed back into Bitcoin. It's kind of like a circuitry thing. They're pumping these coins, getting the gains, flushing the alt market, and then putting it back into Bitcoins. And it seems like to be the cycle now. So total 3, what we're looking for now is to hold some type of support. Resistance. We want that to become support at about $1 trillion. I don't want to go back below $1 trillion again, right? We want to start to consolidate here. So whatever liquidation event this was today, you'd like to see us bounce and start to consolidate a little bit above this key level. If we can do that, there's, and it doesn't look amazing just now, but if it can all kind of start to formulate, you'll see what I'm saying over time, right? Right now, it looks like, bearish div, and it's just only, we go lower. We're going to have to get a bounce in the next 2-3 days here for Bitcoin. The 1 hour 200 moving average must hold. If it does not, and you close a 1 hour candle below here, then we're in for some lower areas. We would have to pull the fib and start to see that we could come down to this high volume node in here and break $1 trillion market cap. So kind of sad to see the altcoins just barely hit $1 trillion, sit there for a second, and then lose it all again. So I'd like them to see them consolidate. We really want to see a shoulder, a head, a huge move back up today or tomorrow. This is very important, all right? Alts kicked my behind this week big time. Wasn't my week for trading. I did everything wrong that could have been done. Dang, man, I'm sorry to hear that. Sam, did you see Solana increase its block capacity by 20% today? So big. Short the bottom, long the top. Bang. You guys are funny. God bless everybody here on the live. I sold it all at the bottom. I sold it all at the bottom. Really? Why are you so silly, man? Shout out to the 199, man. God bless everybody. Yeah. Didn't you sell a lot of Bitcoin too, though? When I was like, whatever. It is what it is, man. I never sell Bitcoin. I just don't. Yeah. Never. I'm that dude, man. I never sell Bitcoin. Never. And people are like, but why? Because I'm going to borrow against it. Don't you understand? And that brings me to the news here at 11:10. And I'm going to segue right into what I'm talking about. Bitcoin only makes up 0.2% of all global assets. It's still super early, right? Real estate, 170 trillion. Bonds, the money market, equities, arts, cars, and collectibles, 27 trillion. Gold, 22 trillion. Bitcoin, still a very small percentage of the pie here. Tells you it's still dang early. JP Morgan Chase considering allowing clients to borrow against their crypto assets. This, basically, it's pretty awesome. So they're citing anonymous sources familiar with the matter report that the top global investment bank could start lending against crypto assets next year. And basically, they would have some type of intermediary company in between that would yank your crypto if you did not pay the loan. You see what I'm saying? So it would have to employ a third-party platform to custody crypto assets seized from customers who default on their loans. Hey, they find it as a way to get loans are easy for them, right? They do whatever they want. Bang. And so bang, right? So they're like, okay, give a loan. It was what it was. And then they could just give loans that are just really cheap for them, just products they created out of thin air. Turn them into Bitcoin when people don't pay the loan back. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. You see what I'm saying? So Bitcoin struggling again here at this key level, 118,250. Come on, baby. So you really got to hold that 200. Today, it looks like you're going to struggle back to the bottom of the range. 1, 2, 3. I see resistance at 118,200, 282 right there. Nasty resistance. You got to flag out above the 200. This is the model. If I don't get the model, I don't trade. It's very simple. The model repeats daily. I see it many, many times a day. But right now, it's struggling to complete. Yeah. Damn, he's admitting he has millions in Bitcoin. He's a Bitcoin millionaire. Millions. That's crazy. Yeah, I sold spot at 60, 80, 100, and 120. But I also have millions in Bitcoin that I will never sell until I'm old, I guess. Yeah, you probably just hand it to your kids. You're fine, man. You're in a good place. I never count another man's money. So may God bless you, man. I just wish you the best. If I wish you the best will happen to me. You reap what you sow. I know that for a fact. The Bible says it, and it depicts it. So everyone check out Jason Casper. Go to his channel. Find out more. The guy streams all the time. Pushes himself constantly. And he has really cool tips, tricks, and strategies. Trades like me. Sees something beforehand. Maps it out. Plans out what he's going to do before he does it and does it. Uses Fibonacci's and basic divergences, based off money flow. It's pretty, basic, simple concepts with the stochastics, RSI, and fibs. I mean, support and resistance, dude. And he's locked in. So shout out to everybody out there. We trade somewhat similarly in some way. God bless you, brother. Thank you. He can hold trades longer than me. I'll give him that. I like to swing trade more on daily. Hey, Sammy, if you want to be a billionaire, find a job. If you want to buy crypto, you're funny, man. Can trade 5x Robinhood on MEXC. Interesting. That's interesting. But God bless everybody out there in crypto land. Thank you so much. And people love the channel. Look, everybody comes to the channel. Your favorite YouTuber watches this channel. I'm your favorite analyst. You know what I mean? Look at the head and shoulder right there. They're telling you the no-go. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. I mean, it's clear as day. And today is a choppy day. This feels like a Monday, man. It feels like a Monday. A very choppy day to be alive. Yeah. Robinhood can't wait. Yeah, love your content. Can you check out Aerodrome? We'll take a look at Aero. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. A couple more news I wanted to talk about here. So that's huge. Borrowing against your crypto, that's the whole point. That's what we've been waiting for our whole lives, right? Elon Musk's SpaceX moves Bitcoin holdings for the first time in 3 years. Here's where it went. SpaceX transferred funds to an unknown wallet, which suggests that this move is just for custody purposes rather than to sell them. Notably, the last time Elon Musk's company moved some of its Bitcoin holdings was to Coinbase 3 years ago, which was more of an indication to sell than its recent transfer. There's a possibility that they would have likely moved the 153 to Coinbase again rather than to a new address if intended to offload the coins. Arkham data shows the coins in a fresh address remain untouched following the transfer. Meanwhile, it's worth noting that the company still holds 6,977 Bitcoin in its recognized wallets. That's $827 million, almost $1 billion worth of BTC. Musk's belief in Bitcoin potential as a hedge looks to be growing, which again makes it unlikely that SpaceX is looking to offload its coins with its recent transfer. So hold on for dear life. The bullish Bitcoin metric just touched a 15-year high. Yikes. Crazy. Trump criticizes Fed Chair Powell over interest rate cuts. Of course, right? And attackers exploit Trust AI, a smart contract, and crash token soon after launch. Got to stop this from happening because it puts a weird name to crypto. People read this, see this, and it kind of makes them a little sketched out by cryptocurrency. And BNB hits a new all-time high at 800 as alt season. I think it's been higher than that, but maybe not. But BNB, man, continues to rip. I put out the trade to the trading group. Let's talk about it. Let's look at BNB right now. One of the strongest performing coins in the game. I remember when it was $1 a coin, BNB. So here I have it here breaking out. And wow, I guess, yeah, there was 790 BNB. I don't know. I remember it at $1,200, but I guess it never was. That's just a fantasy of mine. All-time high for BNB. Yes, it's 2018. This is crazy to see. So BNB coin hits an all-time high. Has a great use case. People were doing damage. It's awesome. And we talked about it here at 650. I could see that it was bullish. The charts looked extremely bullish to me. Let me talk about why I liked it just to teach you something. So the moving averages were extremely tight. Whenever I see that, I get very excited. The stochastics were low. We have a bullish div on the stochastics with the green R right there, telling us like there's likely some type of bottom coming or forming. And then when I see the tightness there, I just, that's a move. And then you can basically I take the middle range of and that's really where your first entry should go. I mean, that's price discovery at this point, right? And then you got to look at the daily, the 4-hour. And if this thing could continue to pump, then it's going to make some type of ascending triangle and continue to rock. This would be really good for Total 3. BNB could really make the charge there because it's got a big market cap. Solana and BNB, right? So big movement in the bigger behemoths here, and I gave this trade to the group. So, and I see us headed all the way to 1,031. It looks like it's definitely headed there over time, all right? Chop City for Bitcoin. No live trading today for me. It's sad, but I don't live trade when it's not there. You don't force trades for no reason. Solana looked beautiful. We're starting to play out. When Bitcoin dips, it takes every trade down the drain. That's what I said to all my students. Watch Bitcoin. Last night looked good until it didn't, right? I don't know if I missed it. If I can look at Shell USDT. Let's take a look at Shell USDT. Never heard of it. It's on Binance. It's on KuCoin. My Shell token. Let's take a look at here on the daily time frame. Came out, bit of a dump. Seems like it's doing what I call an Adam and Eve double bottom. It just says that over time it's going to break out. I trust this pattern more than almost any other pattern in the game. Whenever I've seen it, it has responded in kind to the win. I don't know how long it could take. That could be a month, 2 months, or 3. But it does suggest that you will be at 45 cents. Hold me to this. Let's see what happens in 3 months to this token. We'll put an alert on it to keep me kind of coming back, and I'll keep adding alerts as we keep showing it on the stream. Every time I get an alert, I'll alert it again. But that, to me, says it's going up, just like blindly. You don't have to do any more. I don't do any more TA there. Just Adam and Eve double bottom. Again, what if the product, what if something happened to the project? What if they didn't hit a milestone? And, anything could happen, and it could go to zero. You have to be open-minded for that. But, as it stands here and now, and then just looking at the TA, that is in Adam and Eve double bottom, likely to break to the upside. If you want to get more technical, you watch it here on like the 4-hour time frame, and you see that it's starting to, it kind of made a flag here, broke out, and you want to see it continue. So you would flag out, look for the 21 to connect, and this thing could really continue to pump and head to about 22 cents. So it looks somewhat bullish to me. Yeah. Bitcoin struggling, but back at 109.51, 109.890 on the USDT pair. On Binance Spot, it's 117.944. Not really our cup of tea right now, right? Head and shouldered, but got back inside. It's Chop City. They don't know which way they want to take it. Look at that. But we projected our model that we love, and we didn't get it, so we don't trade. So awesome, right? You trade what you see. If you don't see it, you don't trade it. I could say this is a bit of a little flag here that could break out. Not my cup of tea, and not perfect, though. Again, so I do the same thing every day, and right now, I mean, shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. Like, kind of says we're making a complex head and shoulder. Get above the 200, make the flag, then I'm bullish again. It's very simple to me. Yeah. Bitcoin sweeter than getting that BTC. Hit a milestone notification. Yeah. Too many people are bullish. Sorry. Let's take a look at what happened here on the poll. So 39 minutes ago, we put a poll out, 866 votes. Do you think Jerome P will be replaced, resign, or stay? And 45% say he stays, 22% replaced, and 32% say he resigns. So most people say he is going to stay. He's here to stay, and that's what's going to be happening here to Jerome Powell. All right. Fear and Greed Index. Yeah, that's back at, what, 74? Yeah, it's pretty high, too, but 80, 89 is usually where we start to see some type of pullback. So we could get one more blow off top here. It's just not, then it's going to be time to take some profito. For sure. Little coins still may have opportunity. I see how the market's kind of budding, and then there's enough liquidity that could linger for the next few months to kind of, there'll be opportunity. I made so many gains in the last couple of weeks. It's all because of the knowledge I got from you. God bless you. Thank you for saying that. Please keep them. And, we made massive, we did very well, right? But we've been long Bitcoin. We've been long a bunch of different altcoins, Solana, the works, XRP, and, and there's still a lot of green out here today. Tectum emissions. I remember Tectum, another coin that just blew up there. Hello token, which I never thought, I thought it was done, ripping back to the upside. A lot of coins showing signs of life, It's pretty awesome. Even, Love Potion, SLP, remember that one? Even Smooth Love Potion, which is crazy. That's gaming. If that worked, then you think Immutable X would be moving. Then Gallo would be moving. We did get nice pumps in almost everything the last few weeks. This went from 35 up to 66, No capital gains taxes on a house. That would be absolutely beautiful. I mean, that would really help out the middle class and people that are buying and selling homes. Why the hell do you have to pay capital gains tax on your home, man? Like, that's insane. You're only going to inject it back into the real estate market anyway, so why should the government keep taking money that we put back in? See, here's the deal. Every time we get taxed in a transaction, right, they try to justify it, but then we know that the money never gets utilized properly. The money will get utilized properly if it stays inside the market. You understand? So here's the deal. Two people both own a home, and they have it, let's just say, and they'll hold it for 10 years, and they want to move, and they sell it. They make a capital gains tax of $400,000. The government takes some of that, has to pay, 20 or 30, whatever your income tax is, or whatever, I think it's about 17 or 20% of the capital gains on there. And boom, now you're paying the government the taxes. Another reason is you would actually use that money. You might buy a bigger property. You might be able to buy two properties. One is a rental. Now you've created, and there maybe there's not enough housing in that area. Now you've created two apartments for two workers that are coming in that are going to, start their life and get that money. It's a great place. There's good work there. And bang, that kind of spreads wealth and people start to grow. So it just, you know what I'm saying? Like, that money starts to spread into society when it's not taxed, in my humble opinion. It gets spent. It gets brought to the hardware store. It gets put to work. So I believe that that's a great idea for the economy. But again, that's just me, right? Shout out to Drain Boston. We love you, man. I'm so sorry. He said, West Roxbury needs you, Buffer. I'm so sorry, man. I feel so bad what happened to my hometown, man, and to that place, what they're doing. Housing people in the Dedham, it just, oh, man. Turn it into a complete circus for sure. You know what I mean? Like, just a complete circus. Anyway, not my call today, not my thing, right? I'm on the charts, but I hope you're all right, brother. Stay safe out there. Straight up, like, stay safe. And there's no you don't even have stand your ground. Like, you can't, like when you go to bed at night in Florida and, you put your thing next to you and you know that if someone comes in there, like, you're gonna get lit, like, but you do it, other places you don't know because you're just like, you do what you got to do, but you know what I mean? Like, and again, another thing, but my point is, it's good to know that, like, you're safe in your home, man. I don't know. To me, that's a big deal, especially with what I do in life, so. God bless everybody out there. Thank you for jumping on in. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance. Is it crawling back? Do you have to worry about your altcoin? And you very well may. Altcoins look like they may struggle right here with Bitcoin dominance in a bit of a flag. And Bitcoin dominance looks like it may start to pump pretty heavy here and takes a percentage back up to 62%. So watch out for your altcoin. Bitcoin dominance back on a little bit of a tear here on the smaller time frames. It is just the 1 minute. Don't get too carried away. We're in a pretty good downtrend on the bigger time frame, but we're bouncing back pretty strong. So watch out. Could be Bitcoin season for a little bit again, and that was just a little bit of a break, Sammy, can we check out DJT stock? I know you don't miss it. I know you'll check it before you leave. DJT. It got clobbered at one point, right? Let's take a look at it on the bigger time frames. It's hitting a bottom numerous times. It's a slight uptrend there, but not amazing. It is resembling what I call the Adam and Eve double bottom, like those altcoins are. And they are investing heavily, or they're connected to, right? You would think to Bitcoin purchases in a way, like with the other media company. I don't know. It doesn't look amazing. It's pretty overbought on the daily. The weekly looks okay. So the weekly looks like, hey, it's making a higher low. I could see it come to the top of the range, if anything, at 28.50, and then from there we'll see. But it definitely looks like it could get back to 28, and then we'll go from there. So if the owner claimed homestead, there isn't any capital gains tax on $250K for single and $500K for married. That is true, right? If you live there for 5 years and sell, there's no capital gains tax on up to $500,000, which I think is amazing. Definitely something. But if you're a real estate investor, you start moving money around, there's huge taxes around. And it's like you're the one who's creating the jobs. It should incentivize more people to create more real estate development, you know. RCAT military drones. RCAT holdings on the Red Cat holdings on the NASDAQ. Well, weekly looks a little bearish to be overbought, right? Coming back down away from the 21. Daily is coming back down to support. And again, nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. So I'm just looking at the charts and giving you my open opinion based on data, or giving you my data, you know, giving you my analysis. This is just my personal analysis. You take it if you like it. Just like the weatherman. You don't got to listen to him, but he's going to give you the weather, right? So, you know, that looks good on the 4-hour time frame for a bit of a bounce. You know, if you're going for a safe move to 11, it looks like you can get there. Sammy, can you explain SL placement? My stop loss on Pepe was 14.01 and kept getting hit on regular price action. Canada has no capital gains on your primary home, and you have to live in it for 2 years to apply. I know you have to apply, right? It's like they give it to you if they let you have it. And shout out to all the fan funding. Thank you for everybody out here today. I don't know if I missed it. Can you do Shell USDT? Yep, we looked at that. Love your content. Can you check out AERO? Let's take a look at Aerodrome and see what's happening. And XMR. Someone asked about XMR and Aerodrome. So let's take a look at XMR. Make sure we didn't skip that Monero. And I like Monero from day one. Holding 318. I see Monero in this giant cup and handle. Says it's only a matter of time like everything else, and it will head to 372. So that's my Monero call, and it's taken a while. But look at the daily. Very oversold, curving. Seems like only a matter of time. It's hitting support and resistance. Monero. Been around a long time, Monero. So, like I knew they tried to get me. I didn't. And then we're going to look at Aerodrome. I like to look at it on Coinbase. It's just simple there. That's where the chart is. We look for a pump from AERO out of this bigger flag, and we got it. And then we look for a smaller pump. We did not get it, right? Everything kind of got a dumpy this morning, so we didn't get the love. But we got this bull flag to pump out. Target does say it's going to 125. And it's nice. We got into AERO 30. We're up 3x. We'll see what can happen. It's taken... That's another trade I've been in for since March of 2024, or before that, really, even. Wow, it's been a long time, man. About a year and a half or more. So the weekly looks, you know, you don't get a lot of information on the weekly. 5-day chart says you've bottomed and you've tried to make, two higher lows in a row. It's a good sign. Your next kind of range-bound area there is 122, then 152, and then you could basically go pretty close to the all-time high. 3-day chart looks interesting too, and, but it's a little away from the 21. And there's your daily, with that bearish, today's just, but today's opportunity, remember, red candles create opportunity, and you can't be buying green ones, so the red ones are the greatest. I see that as long as this consolidates and stays above the 200 with the 21, we're good to go. And that's something you could put an alert on and watch it closely, AERO, and then it will continue to pump, and the extended region there is up to the 152 area, right, for AERO. And it did just break back above its daily 200 moving average. That's a very bullish sign. Now it just has to find its way. It's supportive resistance, and it can likely continue. But it's got to find its way. Back to BOOKMAP, and 118-100 is awesome. Anytime Bitcoin stays above 118, we're bullish. Anytime it goes back below, I'm bearish. We got to hold 118 on the day. We got to get this move for Bitcoin. Very important. I mean, nothing has to happen. Life is great, but it would be far more pleasurable for the bulls if we can get this move for Bitcoin on this 1-minute time frame above the 200 moving average, which we now just got again. Finally, we're back above it. And so they toyed with us, but I know how to watch price action, and I can tell you what's going to happen after certain confirmations. I need confirmations. Once I get them, the probabilities begin to really play out. So today, that was a complex inverted head and shoulders. Shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. Breakout, retest, came back, shoulder, head, right shoulder. Cup and handle. Cup and kind of handle there. But cup and handle there for sure. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Bitcoin back in action. Can these altcoins get a bounce? Is it time? Could have been the greatest time to scoop up some alts. I don't know. 115 still seems like it's lingering down here. Hasn't really given up that idea just yet. I don't know if we're out the hot water yet for Bitcoin. We're never really, right? Okay, DJI 6930. Can you take a look at BERA chain, please? Thank you. Yeah, teaching the grandkids about taxes, got them in a bowl of ice cream, and then I took 30%. Told them they would go to jail if they didn't give it. Understood. Right? Give me 30% of your ice cream right now. All right? That's it. That's it. Let's take a look at BERA chain. And we already looked at DJI 6930. BERA. BERA was in a nice little flag this morning, but probably dumb because of Bitcoin. But we'll see. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it actually held. So BERA pumping out the flag. Interesting, right? BERA says, I don't care. So we looked at BERA chain yesterday. I said BERA chain could pump. BERA chain looks dang bullish. So BERA chain shrugging off the Bitcoin pullback, does not care. And you want to look for strong coins like this. And so for me, BERA chain's basically on its way to break out, possibly. This thing is cooked, or about to start cooking. I mean, not cooked, right? But so look for BERA chain to pump. Very strong right now, and it's been a while since it came back strong. I see it going to $3. BERA. Thank you for giving me BERA, man, and reviving the channel here, getting everyone kind of, there is opportunity out here. BERA looks hot. All right, so some altcoins are, got hit off, but not BERA. Not that BERA chain, baby. So here. Bang, bang, bang. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. Thank you for the $330 in chat revenue. You people are absolutely beautiful. God bless Jason Casper, everyone out there that came to the show. We appreciate you. We love you, and we thank you so much. Teaching the grand. Hey, that's what happens, right? Shout out to all the super chats. Make sure we got them all done here. XMR. And shout out to anyone that gave. We'll kind of call you out here. We got Busta Crypto for the memberships. We got Wealth Joe. We got James Jones. Yes, brother, speak the truth. God bless you, man. I've been at the bottom and the top. They both were hard, no doubt. God bless you, Matt. Shout out to Sifa Kalik. What's up with C? You did great with that. Thanks for the lifers, everything you do, Sam. Amen. XMR. Looks like we're headed to 123. Big Dog Dominance may go to retest. Yep. Shell. I sold it all at the bottom. You're right. I love your content. Can you check out AERO, ZORA? I don't know if I missed it. Can you look at Shell? We did, yeah. Can you take a look at BERA chain, please, from Cherry City Bulls, TLA 989. Trash Pump, DJI 6930. And Trash, please. We went over Trash already, but we'll do it again. It had a nice pump, probably a great place to take some profit. Now it's pulling back. Hey, you never know what could happen to these things. Now you look for it to consolidate. Just like Bitcoin, can it get the bounce? The whole market is looking for a bit of a bounce. This thing is playing off the Bitcoin treachery right now. Not every coin is, but about 90% of coins are. I was surprised to see BERA chain do its thing. Let's take a look at XRP, the banker's coin. The banker's coin, XRP. Wow. Looked like it was going to do damage. Remember, I sold the local top at 362 that day and thought I missed out on one of the biggest opportunities. I never got back in. I was looking for it to stay flat. Last night, they just dumped the altcoins. Bitcoin dominance came back strong. And just like I said, watch your altcoins. We almost need altcoins to kind of do a V-shaped recovery real fast here. Again, most altcoins are away from the daily 21-day moving average. We had a huge pump, but it's just not that time. Just not that time. A possible scalp, a little bit moving here, but no. Not that time for that move. So, XRP looks like it could come back down here. Now, the bullish scenario, somehow we make these ascending triangles. And these are the lows. Last chances to get in, and we bounce there, go sideways, pull the 21 with it. But that's less likely Then some pullbacks here to the 0.5, 269, 285. Very, very possible. We hit an all-time high. You know, why wasn't there explosive price discovery? That's what people wanted. Hey, Bitcoin dominance came back in the picture and said, no, 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 no. So we really need to see these altcoins get a revival today, a bounce all the way back to the upside. You know, you watch the main coins like Doge, like if Doge can get the bounce, anything, you know, isn't that amazing if we get all the way back up? It'd be unbelievable, right? Anything is possible for sure, and it can happen. And you can see there's good on-chain data, you know, strong companies, more people buying Bitcoin. It's continuing to happen, right? Can you have a look at Injective, please? Send a super chat for TA and deep dive if you want me to go over a coin, please. So many people did that already. It's kind of rude if I do it without going, you know. It's rude to the people that did. Hey, Sam, could you explain what confirmation you're waiting for before going long on Bitcoin? Yeah, I'm waiting to see if we can get above the 200 moving average, make a basically a solid flag, and touch the 21-day moving average. I'd like to see that. Syrup, thank you for being here every day. Let's take a look at Syrup. Shout out to Chris Ferry. We love you, we appreciate you, and we care. I like Syrup. I want to see it bounce here. I'm expecting a bounce, actually. And now, could it go lower to the 0.65 Fibonacci? It very well may. Let's kind of look at it one more time. I honestly feel like that was your impulse, though, and it already is at the 618 and hit the 786. I say it's time for its next big move. TVL is growing. Maple Finance is ripping. Syrup doing damage. You know, if the whole market's going to go, that means ETH is going to pump. If ETH is going to pump, DeFi is going to get revived. If DeFi gets revived, then Syrup and Maple Finance continue to pump. That's just how it works. And again, I don't make the rules here. I just tell you how it is. So this, you know, is setting itself up. It does have a severe resistance there at 52 cents. It's going to have to crush. But I like this Fibonacci pullback, the bit of a double bottom, and very oversold with a fib bullish, you know, a bullish move there. So I believe this thing could do damage. Syrup to 96 cents. And that's, you know, that's what the TA tells me. I could be completely way off there. So. And thank you, Matt. Thank you, Chris Ferry. Thank you to Stephen Nutt, Cherry City Bullies, TLA 989. And all the awesome people here that have basically, you know, ZORA Delta, Zero Delta 88, TDIG4N, Jason Casper, Lift the 9950, Matt 22, Mike Reinhardt, Maliki Marcus, Mike Reinhardt again, Sefa Khalik, Matt, James Jones, and all the people, Wealth Joe, all you people. I hope I didn't miss anybody, TDIG4IN, right? With Maple, never moved it off Web3, and it hosed now apparently. Oh, man. Got to get off that Web3, man. No, it's funny. So, yes, action-packed here today for BTC. And a lot to learn. And there's a chance that they just liquidated these longs, and they definitely may bounce this price back to the upside here. Now Bitcoin's right below the 200 moving average on the 1 hour. It's got to get back above that too as well. So that's the story as old as time. Now we're possibly making the flag. See, this is what I'm looking for. Now we're above the 200. The 21's coming back into play. And now we do not want to lose the 200 moving average. We want to stay above it. Very, very important now. And now we're looking for the flag for BTC. This is the model. This is a pretty good hit rate. Trading above both the 21 and the 200 on the 1 minute has a great hit rate. So, like, there's a good chance this trade does go to the upside. I'm going to look at it here too. So that's like one of my scalp positions right there that I like to scalp. It has a high win rate, specifically on Tuesday and Wednesday for whatever reason. Doesn't mean it's going to scalp for sure. It's pretty sketchy, but the odds are almost always in my favor here that this will play out. We may finally get a live trade in here today. The thing is, the risk-reward ratio is tough. I can't put my stop loss below the 200 without having to go super high, like 118, 865, and I don't know if we're going to do that. But so 118, 868, stop loss at 117940. And, you know, you don't go too crazy. That's that 131 for 400. Bang, right? I love the sound that BitTinex makes, and right now, that's a beautiful scalp. We'll see where we go. I'm aiming to get to 118, 868 here on the trade. This is the model. I waited all morning. Like, I didn't chase. I watched them reverse. I watched them break it up, break it down, break it up, break it down, and I sat and waited for my model. Once my model came, I took the trade. Very simple, very disciplined. Already up $27. I don't know how. I told you I'm the king of 3%. Can I get my 3%, please, as the trade begins? That's usually what happens. I'm up 3%, and that's where this whole I'm the king of 3% comes from. Because I usually, by the time I'm in the trade, the first minute or two, look at that thing, took off the second I got into the trade. How did I know that was going to happen? That's crazy, right? That's crazy. I touched Bitcoin, and it pumped as if I had been here before. Whatever, I don't know what's going on with me. I live inside this dual realm of psychic energy. Thank you for all you do, lifer. Can we check DIA on the daily? Shout out to Joker, NYC 856862. Of course we can. And I told you I'm the king of 3%. No one makes 3% faster than me. Nobody. All right? Hey, you got to make the people laugh. So let's take a look here at DIA. I mean, it's funny and it's not too funny, though, because it's pretty consistent. All right? Let's look at DIA and see what's happening here on the charts. And again, don't call me a loser when I lose. Don't call me a genius when I win. It's just a simple trade in my data set. And we go from there, right? So we call DIA down here at about 46 cents. This thing went all the way to 120. I mean, what a rally and a half, right? And I put it out there down on the lows. So bang, bang, bang. Is that a printer? Right? You bought a printer? Here on the island? Where? I need a keyboard. My keyboard's broken.
I ordered it.
Oh. Is there no store?
If you need a keyboard, you want me to call Brand and see if they have keyboards for you?
Yeah, maybe.
The frittata is in the oven.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Do you have a keyboard in
I'm live streaming, babe. I love you. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on it. My keyboard's not broken. The space bar is just acting funny. Figured I might as well switch it out before it becomes worse. Thanks for all you do, lifer. Can we check out DAA on the daily? Yeah, it's just too far away for the 21-day moving average. I mean, that was a monster move, right? So now you got to figure it's going to come back down to the fibs. It could, if we're in a very bullish time, it could trend upwards, but it's more likely coming down to that Fibonacci. Wait for the 21 to touch. Do not chase, just like I did with Bitcoin right now. You got to wait to come to the 21. You got to wait to cross. All right. DIA likely, I mean, that's a perfect sell there if you got out. If you're still, even right now, it's up huge from when we put it out. Absolutely beautiful call by the lifer, man. I guess I got lucky with that. I say luck, but man, luck is showing up every day. Luck doesn't exist. It's showing up every day and being prepared, and then people call you lucky. You're only lucky because you showed up every day. No one would call you lucky if you weren't consistent. And you remind yourself of that every time someone says you're lucky or you're winning or things are going your way. It's because you keep pushing yourself. That's why things are going your way. Because you're not stopping, because you're believing, because you got the frequency, because you got the vibrational energy moving your way. That's how you vibe. Thankfulness, gratitude constantly. Not letting any losses take you down. So what? A loss is a loss. It is what it is. You can bounce back from any loss. You can do this. You've got this. You can, you will. You are the best. Let nobody in your head, even yourself. All right? And whenever you have doubt, ask God to remove it. And say, I'm struggling right now, God. Please give me the strength to find my way out. Whenever I was struggling, my dad said, had you not asked God for strength? He looked at me and said, haven't you not got down on your knees? He would like make me feel bad for not praying. He'd be like, had you not gone down on your knees and asked God? He goes, you have little faith, my dad would say. Have some faith, he would say to me. You get on your knees, you ask God for some help. You focus on what you need, you know, what you know could help you. Like, that was my dad's advice, you know. Old school advice, but I think it's still, it stands the test of time. Sorrow's up, cake is up, pump is up, A is up, but not everything, right? On the daily. Last hour, we've gotten a little bit more of movement, but it's not an amazing day for altcoins, let's be honest. The pump was the last few days. Now we're kind of residing. The dailies are high. You know, now the hard work comes in. The higher lows need to be put in. Now we come back down for the retracements, right? And we come to those 618s. You can't chase the highs. Most of these will pull back. Maybe we get a couple little pumps beforehand, but most coins are going to pull back. They're very far away from that daily. Total 3, same scenario, right? When we look at the daily 200 moving average, like, I'd like it to consolidate. It would be awesome, but we may come back down there to 988 one time. So there could be some blood before the love. It usually is. It's not all awesome. So, but right now we're getting a bit of a bounce. So far, so good. It looks like we could bounce all the way back up too. There's a chance this turns green for the day. Bitcoin revives itself back to 119. And where's that liquidity lying here on BOOKMAP? What is BOOKMAP? Link in the description to BOOKMAP right there. And today's probably a pretty good day. You know, today, something's got my mind right now too, but 119,205. But today's a good day to look at some silver, in my humble opinion. I like what I'm seeing for silver. So, bang. So, wow. Technology is amazing, though, isn't it? I find it fascinating. Shout out to Google. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. So, BOOKMAP suggests that we could get to 119,250 and liquidate these shorts today. That's the closest liquidity, the deepest red right now. And usually we do go to the highest red. Bang. Shout out to Kinesis Money, a channel sponsor and an awesome resource. Look, now we're starting to make some gains too as the avail balance starts to move, but I'm going to buy more KAG on and off. You can send Tether here, which is pretty awesome. You can receive Tether, and then you can actually buy gold and silver here. You can also send your gold and silver and utilize it as yield. So if it's sitting there dusting, doing nothing, you can utilize it. Then with that yield, you could buy Bitcoin. Imagine if you made a little bit of yield and then you bought Bitcoin. So you could basically buy Bitcoin with the gold. So if you're going for Bitcoin, but you don't want to sell your gold, and again, it's not going to be huge, but it's better than nothing. It's sitting there doing nothing right now. Why don't you let it work on Kinesis.money? Then you could transfer any of that wealth that you're making back into the alts, back into Bitcoin, hey, back into silver if you want. Silver at 39, really starting to crush it. We got into 37, 38, and I bought it here live with the channel here on my Kinesis account, right? I got my right here, and I'm going to continue to convert into silver. Silver's going to rip. We know it's undervalued. We know it's been held down for years. We know it's one of the best markets to take advantage of right now, and silver, baby. And you can get access to that through Kinesis. You can also ship your gold and silver to Kinesis. They could convert it to their token. Then you can use that for yield. That yield can earn. That earn can then buy you Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other coins. Pretty interesting. There's also metal back, the coin that they give you, and you can get purchases back when when you get it. You can earn gold up to 10% paid back on your metal back purchases. That's kind of huge. Gold paid into your account. So like you basically up to 10%. I mean, that's insane. And so they got a whole ecosystem going with a retail card, up to 6,000 retailers. You can find a store and more. This is insane. And I work with Kinesis. They do sponsor the channel, but I think it's an amazing opportunity as well because it's a way to, like, I'm a gold bug. I'm really not going to sell my gold even though I should, but I could put my gold to work. And that's what's kind of fun and interesting about it all. So, hey, Kinesis.money. Find out today. KMS.Kinesis.money. We have a link in the description. Find out more at Kinesis. And thank you again for the relationship with Kinesis. Anyone that supports the channel, I greatly appreciate it. It means the world to me. You can sign up to Kinesis today with the link and then find out more about how to make it all happen at Kinesis. Solana still holding massive gains at 191, but a little bit of a pullback too as well. Let's take a look at Solana. How bad would the Solana pullback be if you're looking to get in? Where might there be some good prices? Well, we pump. Says we get all the way to 252, and it's likely we will, but we're going to have to consolidate a little bit first. If Bitcoin makes a strong bounce, everything's going to bounce here, make an ascending triangle, and it's just business as usual. We're going to have uptrending flags. Everyone's going to say that was your last chance. Buy the dip, too bad. And it's going to leave everyone into the wayside. That's a chance. This is a possibility. And it still says you're going to have a little bit of time to consolidate, though. It's not going to be an immediate pump. And then boom. It says by August 8th, we're going to be ready to go. The first week in August, things are going to start to get back in action. Which we get a huge pump in August. September usually is a bloody month. Most bearish month for crypto and for, we'll see, though. So this is what we're looking at. Now, this starts to drop down. We're dropping down to the 21 pretty fast. You see some strong support there at 183. So that would be a pretty good place, too, for a bit of a bounce. All right. And Solana kind of leads the rest of the market. So if Solana is going to bounce and retrace and then consolidate, that's what's going to happen in 90% of coins. Your Doges, your Flokies, whatever's around, your bonks, same scenario. A few little ones, like we showed you, BERA chain looks a little interesting today. And that's why we scan the market. And that's why it's awesome to be in a trading group. Because one day I see the anomaly. I'll see something that I haven't seen all day. I'll bet this coin looks different than all the other coins I've scanned all morning long. BERA chain has that today. I'm able to pick that out due to probability and years of doing it, right? So you get your money's worth in that sense. But again, it's up to you. You got to have that all figured out and decide if it's worth it for you. Anyway. So that's kind of another thing that we're talking about. It's funny. I saw almost every coin get some love. Even gaming coins got some love. We're talking Immutable X. We're talking gaming. We're talking Axie Infinity, Smooth Love Potion. It was insane. We have had a pretty good bull run. A pretty good little alt run here, little tiny alt run. It hasn't been amazing, but it was pretty dang good. A lot of movers in this alt run. And now we just got to, look, look at this. This day just been going. Almost every coin. Solana 131 all the way back to $210, right? So, bang. And, now they liquidate the late longs. That's usually what happens. Then they liquidate the late shorts. They bounce it back and forth. We go from there. Let's take a look at our trade. Trade monstering up. The second I said look at the trade. What the heck is going on here? And that is a short squeeze. Usually when I see something like that, I sell it because that's just unreal. That's so strange. I said, let's take a look at the trade. And as I said it, the candle just went, brrrah. That was a crazy candle on the 1 minute. Look, one of the biggest candles we've seen on the 1 minute in hours. That was insane. And wow, they're just going to keep pumping it. So shout out to anyone that took the live trade with the lifer. Ripping. Stop loss is now at break even. You see that? That is gone. Like that's that. And these are just swing. You're day trading, swing trading. I'm just taking what I can. That's insane. Looks like I'll get hit off with 120, but that's just too. Whenever I see money moving that fast, I gotta sell. That's just that's a short squeeze. Something weird happened there. Brah. That's nuts. But I'm happy. I like when I see Bitcoin bouncing. And again, the strategy worked yet again. It's not always perfect. The king came up and down. It did a bunch of weirdness. But the strategy worked yet again. Now, once this happens, I switch to the 3. And I can play the strategy on the 3 minute too as well. Wow, look at that. Something weird just happened there, right? Oh, so there's my local sell. But wow, it's gone. It is gone. It is absolutely gone. So congratulations if you took that trade. I sold right there, but that thing is gone. I don't know what the heck is going on here, but we're getting a massive short squeeze for Bitcoin. And there it is. We get it almost every Tuesday, Wednesday on my channel. I did give you the perfect entry. And it was up second we got in. It started to pump. You can't beat that. That thing is mooning. Bitcoin is flying to the upside. This is out of control. All coins are bouncing. And this is kind of our saving grace here. Still getting pinned by the 5 minute 200 moving average. We got to get back above that right now to remain bullish, right? We're right there at the 5 minute 200. You see that? Away from the 21. Again, now we can wait again for the exact same thing. I've done this all day long. And I take my winnings here, risk them for this. 21 touching the 5 above the 200. Each time we get above a 200, we get through a hurdle. And it tells me we could possibly get to the next one. And as we continue to get progressively through, then we can get to that 1 hour. Now you flip to the 1 hour. Are you getting back above the 1 hour 200? If you are, that's bullish. That's a good sign. We close a 1 hour candle above the 200. Now we did our reversal all the way back from our low this morning. So, wow, I mean, heart attack city, right? Going to make you feel like you're going to get obliterated, liquidated if you stayed in. Shout out to anyone that stayed in here. Unbelievable. Like, that's just insanity. Yeah, they haven't made the morning easy, man. This has been a tough Wednesday. I'll tell you that. You come out of the trading room sometimes and you don't know if you've been in a flogging center. But dang. So Bitcoin. Bullish. I sold a little too early. I usually do. But now I'm poised for the next possible move here. 3-minute, 5-minute chart. I like the 5-minute. The 3-minute, you know, I've been trading it on and off. But the 5-minute, I feel like is still in the background there. Shout out to anyone make a live trade with the lifer. Anyone make gains right now on the stream. Can you check Maker before you take off? Much love. Can you text Sahara? Thank you. Shout out to 713. So and let's take a look at Lift the 995. Tip 50. God bless you, man. Thank you. So let's take a look at Maker and Sahara AI. Maker down. You know, Maker's strong. And you know why? Because it's DeFi. And it gives back. And now the Maker is on the 21-day moving average. A lot of coins are away for their 21. Maker is not. Maker's on the 21. So Maker is a play. Honestly, I normally would not say buy the breakout, but this looks very solidly strong with a stop loss below that wick. I like Maker here. 2.4 risk-reward ratio, not the best. Could be better. So that's not my, but I do see Maker headed to 2638. I do. It looks strong compared to the rest of the market right now. Maker down. And thank you for putting Maker on the radar. 118.5, crazy pump for Bitcoin. And remember, my 8-hour Bitcoin trade is still there. No one got stopped out of it yet. So don't call me out. Don't call it out until it's over. But let's take a look at the 8-hour time frame, right? And in my group right now, we have a trade open on the 8-hour time frame, suggesting that Bitcoin's going to moon. And I'm in the trade right now. And I'm hanging tight. Now I'm either going to win thousands or lose, It's a big boy trade, so. And I'm in this trade right now. You see, I'm in this trade right now on the 8-hour time frame, and I'm not playing games. And either they stop me out, or we win this trade, and they could flush that 115,000. So we'll see. I may get out up here when I'm in profits. I want to ride it all the way, but it's so hard for me to do that. So that trade's still sitting. Nothing to say about that trade. Sahara. Let's take a look at Sahara AI. Remember, we went over this one a bunch of times too as well. That thing ripped. We went over this many times. I kept saying, I like this coin. This is interesting to me. It was 7 cents. Now it's out of control. Remember when I kept going over Sahara AI over and over again on the channel? I saw it on CryptoRank.io, and I kept saying, hey, what's the next hot coin? These are the ones that could be hot. Man. And then remember, Token Metrics had Sahara AI over and over again. This is why you go to my weekly screen share. These are coins that you knew about based on learning with me. Who here learned about these coins with me? Who here knows about these coins because you came to the weekly screen share or you showed up? And again, a lot of the stuff I can't show on I don't show online. Like I can, but I don't, I use it because it's like we're doing alpha during the weekly screen share. All right. We'll take a look at Ondo from TL989. Thank you, Ondo. And back to the live chat. Bitcoin slumping back to 18390. And you see, that's how I take profits whenever I see a crazy move like that. Dang, he said, I sold my Sahara early. Yeah, that thing boomed to the upside. Another coin that I talked about and definitely put on your radars. So, morning done. Dang, I sold it for sure. Funny, I have the same flag drawn on the 8-hour as well. Yeah, there you go. I mean, we'll see what happens. Toshi is building a pretty cup and handle. That's nice to know. Thank you for letting us know. Bitcoin holding strong back above 118. And honestly, I wouldn't get too crazy. I just see sideways price action here for BTC, right? Just sideways price action inside the flags. This looks like it may continue. I wouldn't be surprised if it's at 19 cents. Watch Sahara AI on the radar here. It's high risk too towards the end of the rally now, but it's also got a lot of eyes on it with a lot of volume. It could be the one. So SAHARA AI is on the radar. Remember, I give you a bunch of all the coins I can. I go over as much as I can. I never know exactly what's going to happen and when. If I did, I'd be psychic. But all I can do is keep giving you guys the information I can give you, you know, and show you what I can show you. Remember, we teach class the last Saturday of every month. We go over these coins a lot. Look at there. We're in ZORA 2 cents. We're talking about ZORA on Saturday morning. You know, we're going over ZORA and talking about it at 2 cents. Look at that thing gone. Ripping. Like, we just gave you this trade on the live stream at 4.6. It's gone. That's a live stream trade right there that's up right now. You know, I just went over the setup. I didn't give you the trade, right? I just went over the setup. But bang, 15% gains right there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 35 minutes. You can't beat that. ZORA. And it looked like it could. I mean, it was the hotter coin of the day. It had a lot of volume. The flag looked like it could break out. I see it headed to 5.7. It actually wicked all the way up. It looks like it's going to continue to eat through that wick. So ZORA, looking hot to me for more. And you heard it here first. You can see we gave the call here too on Token Metrics and the trading group right here. 7:20, 8:30 a.m. ZORA 43. And I'm already looking at it too. And we talked about it. And I didn't even a deep dive on it. Pretty interesting. So shout out to anyone that jumped on in and made gains here live on the stream. I mean, that shows you that's the system playing out live in front of you. Flag 21, low stochastic. Bang. Stochastics were low, curving. Almost see an Adam and Eve in the stochastics. There's a cup and handle there. Bang, right? It's just amazing. And the system works, baby. If you put it to work, it works for you. Bitcoin still struggling. I'm not a huge fan of everything going on today. We got to stay above the 1 hour 200 moving average. Very important. Total's got to keep this bounce up. Total 3, really the altcoin bounces. And Bitcoin dominance told us to be careful with our altcoins, right? It said, watch out. So it doesn't seem to be the day to be over trading. It seems the day to be very observant and watchful. And we'll go from there. Shout out to anyone that made that quick live trade. It was a cool little scalp. Not amazing, you know, but hey, we got in, we got out with gains, and that's the key. And it was a pretty crazy move to the upside too as well. Everybody, I love you. Stay open-minded. Look at the bigger time frames. Don't get caught up too much in these small moments. And believe in yourself. Anything can happen if you keep pushing. If you give up, then there's nothing left. So you can't give up. And, you know, giving up, people lose all their money too. So you can't get liquidated. So giving up, you know. Always use a stop loss in my humble opinion. But God bless you guys. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor. Thank you so much for watching the channel. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Crypto is life. Everybody, thank you so much. Stay grateful. I studied a lot of the famous rich entrepreneurs throughout history, right? And they all had this one secret that got them rich. The secret to success that I figured it out. You know what the secret to success is? I'm going to share it with you. This is insane. Is anyone around? I'm going to teach you the secret to success right now. You know what the secret to success is? It's getting started.